Ulster being the most northerly province of Ireland, where we are at the moment. The symbol of this province is the red hands. It dates back to Irish mythology. As the story goes, two kings were competing to become King of Ulster, and they made a bet. The first king that would touch the Irish coastline from across the Irish Sea would be crowned king, and so we're paddling like mad across the Irish Sea to try and win. And one of the kings got an idea. He decided to chop up his own hands and throw it onto the coastline so that he'll be crowned king. So that's one of the stories behind the symbol, the red hand of Ulster. Our next stop, our stop number 8, will be for C.S. Lewis Square. At the entrance of the square, you'll soon see a statue of Lewis beside his famous wardrobe. Just as in the book series, if you pass through the wardrobe, you enter into the land of Narnia. And it's in the centre of the square with the many statues of his famous characters from the Narnia book series. It's also where the East Side Visitor Centre is. Great information about East Belfast in there. Not just about C.S. Lewis, but about Van Morrison, George Best, many others. Nice cafe there too. Got a good restaurant that's in a freight container. It's called Freight. It's open over the past couple of months and gets good ratings. This was heavily industrialised area at one time. Part of the old Belfast works are situated at the bottom of this hill. Many linen mills are here, and distilleries. Irish Distillery, Albany Distillery, and the Botanical Distillery were all here at one time. It was at the Botanical Distillery where they made non-alcoholic drinks. Imagine making non-alcoholic drinks here in Belfast. I'm surprised they were in business at all. So our stop number 8 is next for C.S. Lewis Square. Belfast is terrible for roadworks here. We'll also be heading towards the Newton Road, the heart of Huguenot East Belfast. In the more middle class parts of Belfast, such as the area we just left, you won't see too many clear pickled divisions. It's in the more working class parts of Belfast where the divisions are clearest. It's here that you'll start to see flags flying from lampposts, also murals on the gable walls. So on the Newton Road you see many Huguenot or pro-British murals, also some post-Catholic murals too. A bit tight here. You see a statue of Lewis beside his wardrobe right to your right. Now, a junk man was lined up behind Lewis. He thought the wardrobe was an ATM machine and was getting very frustrated. Lewis was taking an awfully long time to get his money out of that wardrobe. Typical Belfast. You'll see some post-comic murals coming up. There's one ahead on your right. You also see one on the side of the East Side Visitor Centre. You'll see that behind the bus on your right as we pass. But ahead on your left, you'll see a plingle mule for the East Belfast Protestant boys. For complicated reasons, most Protestants tend to be Unionists to most Catholics, Irish nationalists. It wasn't because our troubles here were over religion, per se. It was around identities, so national and political identities. It just so happens that religion got associated with those identities. You'll soon see some paramilitary murals. So paramilitaries or private armies existed here during the Troubles. The first one you'll see will be for the UVF, the Ulster Volunteer Force, the main unionist paramilitary organisation during the Troubles. So you're going to have to look behind the bus to see the first couple. So behind the bus on your left and your right, you'll see some murals now. So behind the bus on your left and your right, you'll see two paramilitary murals for the UVF, the Ulster Volunteer Force. Fortunately, most of these paramilitary murals are painted many decades ago, but every now and again something pops up in areas like this one that's a little bit concerning. For example, you'll see a banner on your left here, placed here only about 3 months ago by the modern UVF. So it shows you still some issues here that need to be worked through, still some underlying issues. You'll see some more unionist paramilitary murals on the gable walls ahead on your right. This is our stop number 9. And it's on the second gable wall that you'll see a gunman pointing a gun directly at you. Now if you watch him as he passes the bus and he follows you down the road, he's known locally as the East Belfast Mona Lisa. Very creepy. Oh, it scares the life out of me looking at him. You'll see the red handles to many of these murals. One of the few shared symbols in the city. She's on both sides of the Plingle Divide, although mostly on the Unionist side. You'll see barriers, fences, and even some mesh in the housing windows. In the area to your left, that's a Catholic nationalist short strand area. So it's in the more working class parts of the city where the Plingle divisions are clearest. Thankfully, due to cross-community work, community relations are improving here. But you can see still see some signs of divisions. It's all about building trust today. Trust broke down during the conflict here, and it takes a number of generations to finally rebuild that trust. There's another waste ground in East Belfast where industries used to be located. The Sirocco Works factory was in the area to your left. And that's one of the places where air conditioning was invented. Yes, right here. And one of the first buildings in the world to ever have air conditioning installed was the Royal Victoria Hospital in West Belfast. They rarely have an excuse to use it here. I think they used their air conditioning twice last year in July. Certainly not using it today. Ahead on your left, you'll soon see a statue of a woman holding a ring. Placed there by Andy Scott to symbolise peace and harmony. This is known as the Beacon of Hope. But the people of Belfast thought they'd rename her. She is now known as Nula with the Hula, the doll on the ball, that thing with the ring. Some people even refer to her as a waste of money. Very disrespectful. They have a real habit of renaming things here in Belfast, especially the cost a lot of money to install. coming up to our stop number 10 next. I know many of you are getting off there, so we will stop outside there for you. So don't worry, you get to stay seated until we come to a complete stop. It's for Lanyon Place Station, St George's Market. It's also the closest stop to Victoria Square. So St George's Market stays at the 4 p.m. today. It's the last day